Now I request Honorable Minister Dr. Jeetendra Singh ji to address the media.
Thank you, Mr. Oja. Chairman Narayanan, Group Captains Prashant, Subhashu, friends from the media. I know you would be waiting to have more of interaction with the two gentlemen sitting left and right of me, so I would not take long. And without taking the risk of being repetitive, just to add one or two observations. To take off from what Narayanan was saying about the recent missions and the upcoming missions, I think what might have struck you is that the Department of Space has been around for nearly 70 years. And officially, the ISRO was established in 1969. So I'm sure one day, some of you, or some of the analysts might be asked, why all this had to happen only in the last few years? Why it couldn't have happened in the last 5-6 decades? And since all of us belong to the domain of science, which teaches us not to speak without evidence, I think that's because in the last few years we have started following the strategies which are followed by the rest of the world. Now our benchmarks are global benchmarks, our strategies are global, and the parameters that we are seeking to live up to global. And therefore, and this entire story began somewhere in 2018. For the first time, I think Dr. Kiran Kumar was the chairman, and he said to me that now we are ready to actually prepare a human being going up to the space. So I said, let's verify whether we can actually do that. So he got back to me after a few days. Yes, we are very sure. And it's time now also to announce to the countrymen. And then the Independence Day was going to happen a few months, a few weeks later. So all of us decided and promised each other to maintain a guarded religious silence so that we could have the announcement done by the Prime Minister of India from the ramparts of Redford, because you know what it means when the Prime Minister himself announces. And I think that was the first momentous occasion for each one of us associated with ISRO when we heard the Prime Minister on the Independence Day of 2018 declaring to the nation that we are now ready to send an Indian into the space. Thereafter, this entire process started. We had the potential astronauts, just Narayanan was talking you about. They started their training. Then suddenly the imponderables happened. The COVID struck us. They were there in Moscow that time. The Gregory Institute that got get back, the lockdown. So everything got delayed. Actually, we had very ambitiously planned it to have this first human mission coinciding with the 75th year of India's independence. But then since everything went haywire, so it could not materialize. And then, of course, when the training was almost complete, the Indian module, the Russian module, then this happened. The suggestion that we could have an Indian astronaut, and that happened when Prime Minister Modi was on a visit to DC and was having parleys with President Biden. And the first thing I told the then chairman, I said, look here, now you don't take it just on its face value. It's a recognition of the Indian talent. Now we are being solicited because they know the value of our contribution. So our collaboration has now reached an equal level. So we are collaborating at an equal platform. And then, of course, Prashant and Subhashu were there. So when you try to seek answers why it didn't happen, as Narayanan was saying, we were just almost one digit or zero startups still 5 years back. Today we have more than 300. What also I think he should have mentioned is that our space economy was almost dismal, not even worth mentioning. Today we are $8 billion, and the manner in which we are progressing, our projections indicate that in just next 8 to 10 years we'll be going up nearly 5 times, maybe $45 billion, which otherwise means that as we move on from economy number 4 to 3, 2, and 1, space component is going to be a major value addition to the future economy growth. And as I've always said, that when you scientifically think how the economy is going to grow from where we are, it is going to happen from the unexplored or the underexplored sectors, which were there but which were not attended to. So one of them is space, the other is oceans, which also we have started deep ocean mission. I'm not going to talk about it right now. Now, I think the biggest turning point was when the Prime Minister agreed to open up the space sector to the private sector. And some of the media friends very fancifully and very beautifully reported the Prime Minister Modi has unlocked India's space. And I said it is the unlocking of the Sriharikota gates, because only 10 people would sit there and do the launching. The first time I went, Dr. Radhakrishnan was there in the middle of night at about 3 o'clock. He said, I'll take you to a place where even my scientists are not allowed to go because it's such a prohibited space. And then it was about 1:30. I said, Radha, I try to learn one new thing each day. What I learned today is that one should be either as an eminent scientist as you are, or somehow manage to become a minister in the Department of Space and Research. But then why this restriction? And I'm glad the Honorable Prime Minister allowed us to do this today. At any point of time, we have 15 to 20,000 people watching the launching, and we have created a separate exclusive space zone for the media persons. We have on average 1,000, 1,500 million. So this opening up gave us a lot of enthusiasm. It also gave us, and the private sector, the private boys and girls who came in as startups, they not only gained out economically, financially, some of them are now making lucrative entrepreneurs, but they also added value knowledge-wise. They came with a lot of new ideas. The first time why I'm saying so that these are lesser known facts, lesser reported. When the Sky Route was launched, the first one, I noticed a small gadget there on the rocket. I didn't know. I asked the chairman, I said, what is this? He said, I can't figure out. I said, if chairman can't figure out, who else would? So I said, let's call the boys. So when we called the boys, they said, sir, when you send a rocket up, the Doordarshan catches from the ground. We have put a camera on the top of it. So they were actually coming with new ideas, and that's how the growth has gained momentum. Otherwise, there was never a dearth of talent. You've seen those pictures of Sarabhai carrying some of his saman on the baggage.